There have been several generations that haven't had access to education. They haven't had access to services that the normal population should. So now we figure out that we don't have a normal society as it was 20 or 30 years ago. We find groups of people that are basically excluded from the society, for example, the gangs. And when a gang member wants to get out of them and integrate into the society, it's impossible for them to do it because they don't have education, they have tattoos all around their bodies, and there are no programs for them to really integrate into the society.
Que pueda servir para que esta persona realmente se pueda integrar a la sociedad.
We have already graduated 3 generations. The last generation was made up of 25 people, and in 2011, we expect to graduate 100 people. All those that pass these filters, this process, are interviewed by our managers, and if the results are positive, they get a long-term job. What we pursue is to be able to give them the opportunity they've never had. One of the things that I've seen with these young people we have worked with is that they have been in jail 6, 7, or even 8 times. We are living difficult times. The newspapers and news are full of fear. And I really think that it's the time to make a wake-up call to the society, to each professional, to each person. It's time for us to see that there are other solutions, other ways to solve the problems. We pursue to do a project in a much bigger magnitude, to build an industrial complex near the penitentiaries. The idea is to be able to influence in a more than positive way on that environment that should be a reformatory.
Most of them express that their problems started because they never had opportunities, because they live in very poor areas and they never had education or vocational training, because their mothers, usually very young, were in charge of the house maintainability and used to send them to beg or to make a living out of selling things on the street. So for them, the street became their home.
I think that it's a long-term investment to form people for the peace, for the justice, and for the good. In fact, if we don't start from there, the society itself cannot survive. I think it's the exact good moment to start something like that.
They are full of positive energy. It just takes someone to guide them. We have been doing a series of projects, and all the projects that the previous governments allowed us to do were very successful.
They get out of jail but have absolutely no preparation to be able to integrate, find a job, and stop committing crimes. Regarding an experience I saw in New Orleans, which happens to be a larger project. There was a prison, and then there was a separation phase to see if it would be possible to incorporate gang members and other crime offenders. They had an industrial area where they worked, and a place to study, as well as a place for leisure activities.
La zona industrial donde ellos trabajaban y tenían su lugar de estudio y de recreación.
This would open their minds, their thoughts, and their life. And it would also help to their insertion, because currently, at the moment of getting out of prison, they get back to their same place, the same things. But with this project, it wouldn't be like this. They would get out with a different vision. We are making a wake-up call to those professionals or entrepreneurs that have businesses in cities of the United States that could be affected by the gangs right now. We believe that we can have enough energy to establish those companies here in El Salvador so that all those guys from the gangs stop going back to the United States. We would make sure that they study here and get forward.
The convicts have necessities because the budget is very little for the prisons. The nutrition is deficient. They don't have the basic things because the government doesn't give them anything for their personal sanitation. They need money, and their relatives can only get in with very little amounts of money. Part of the extortions that they do are due to necessity, although I can't deny that there are groups that make a living out of that. But it's a fact that the extortions increase when they don't have how to fulfill their basic needs.
We believe in the solution of love, in the solution that Jesus Christ left us, which is pretty much giving the opportunities in the right way, under a solid base of an established order and engineering, as well as a form of a Christian life. All of this is much more important because they are starting a new stage, a new model, where the person is not only an employee, is not only a worker, but a person that is looking forward to developing a lot more. It's not all of them. Of course, that there will be some that are going to be impossible to reintegrate. It will be difficult, but most of the ones that want to change are going to do it. And that is the main contribution to a troubled society.
For the gang members, this is not a second, but a first opportunity, since they've never had one before.
I make a call to the people in general to get together in order to find solutions. I know that building an industrial complex next to a prison sounds radical, but everybody, and the ones that are excluded want an opportunity. They clamor for a chance, and I think it's the time for us to do something about it.
Y siento que es hora que nosotros hagamos algo.